Hi, I'm Mark Keefe, and welcome to Lock, Stock, and Barrel, a special edition. Now this week, we're fortunate to have one of the greatest pistol shooters of all time, Rob Leatham. Rob, thanks for being with us this week.
Thanks for having me.
And we've been talking about a lot of guns, but really the undercurrent for what we've been discussing are carry guns.
Right.
What do you think is the most important consideration in a carry gun?
Well, you got to have one first. So it's got to be small enough that you're actually willing to carry it. You know, you can sit here and read internet forums all day long how somebody's going to carry a 5-inch barrel 1911 with 17 magazines, you know, on a belt. But the reality is, that's not going to work for me. I'm not going to ever carry a gun that's both that demanding from the lifestyle changes or difficult to actually use for concealment. So it's got to be small enough, but not the smallest thing necessarily. It's got to be light enough, but it's got to be shootable and it's got to be powerful. Those are things I require from my gun.
You know, it's funny, I know a lot of people that carry small guns, particularly the 380s, and then I watch them shoot them and they're terrified of the gun.
Right.
So there needs to be a balance between effective defensive stopping power and a gun that you can actually run.
Right, you've got to be able to hit your targets. You know, it's funny, since we came out with the 911 380, I carry it all the time. But you know what I do with that gun? I practice. And that gun's real easy to shoot for the type of gun. But it's still a 380. As much as I like the gun, it's still a 380. So that's my pocket gun. But if I'm willing to go to another step and carry a holster or in an off-body carry type situation, I can have a little more size, I can have a little more power, I can have a little more controllability, and that gives me the confidence that I can actually hit my target and what I'm shooting will do what I want done.
So with this gun here, this is one of my guns. This is my XDS M45.
This is the only gun you own, right? You don't have a single.
Oh, no.
That's the only firearm.
So if I were going to a gunfight, I'd take my 1918 BAR.
That's an excellent choice. I could not argue with that at all.
Normally, I just go to the office.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to the but if you knew there was a gunfight, I wouldn't go, but that's a different choice.
So, but you know, the thing about this gun is it's only got a 5-round magazine, but you can carry spare magazines. They're not obtrusive. But this gives me what I'm looking for in terms of defensive firepower.
Right.
This is a 45. This is.
You are talking to the choir here, baby. I believe in exactly the same thing. I don't care if my gun has 15 rounds because data shows that the average defensive use of the handgun doesn't get in deep to the magazine. The ones that matter are the first 2 or 3 in most of those circumstances. And those first 2 or 3 are gonna probably, you know, affect the outcome more than anything else. So I care about the reliability of the first 3 happening. I don't care about the last 3 out of the magazine. I'm gonna care about the first 3 more than anything else. And if they're big bullets, I mean, I'm old school. I mean, I really am. I think bullet diameter matters, and if you can handle the bigger gun.
See, and I'm a fan of carrying as much gun as you're comfortable shooting.
That's a tagline right there.
I have friends that they shoot this gun and they just go, I can't hold on to it.
Right.
It's like, well, I can, so I carry this.
Right.
But you know, they might carry a 9 or they might carry a 380 or 38 special. So in a carry gun, for me, the ultimate in whether it's a good carry gun is it reliable? Does it run?
Absolutely. If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. The rest of it makes no difference at all.
Yeah. So one of the things I like about this gun, and there's a lot of other guns, including 1911s, commanders, officers, you know, they feed from a
single stack magazine.
You don't have the coefficient of friction of the cartridges pushing outward, you know, get debris in there. So it's a compromise. All carry guns are compromised.
Everything about a carry gun's a compromise.
And so, but for me, I like the single stack because I know it's going to work.
Well, I like the fact that you can do a nice flat frame with a single stack. You can do a very thin frame. You know, these things are 1 inch wide. So it's very easy to conceal. Much smaller than that, and I don't think I'd want a 45. To be honest with you, if you made the gun much smaller, I'd probably want it to be a 9mm or 380 or something because there's just not enough to hold on to. But that particular size and package, no matter who builds it, is that sweet spot of, as long as you're going to learn how to shoot it.
Right.
I mean, there's the same thing. You know, I'm not telling everybody to go out and buy a little 45. I'm saying go out and buy a gun that you can learn how to shoot and then practice with it and find out. You and I are lucky. We get to shoot all the time. So we know that we can control that gun. And we know traditionally and historically what a 45 does. And that's what we want.
And you know, the great thing about guns in the size class, I mean, again, I happen to like this one, but I've got others.
Sure.
Is, you know, you put it in an inside the waistband holster.
Right.
You know, you can wear it, you know, with a loose shirt.
Right.
And the gun disappears on you.
All right. That's the flat and the short grip and the round in the right places, flat in the right places, size where you need it, not where you don't.
So, because if you need a gun, you really need a gun.
Yeah, you need a gun. And the first rule of a gunfight, have a gun, right? So don't go to the gunfight if you're not going to have one. And it's funny. You hit so many good points here. When I do classes, and I've been teaching now for close to 40 years, so many, I don't know, urban myths are out there about things and magic bullets and all this other stuff. The reality is, first off, you have to have a gun. If you don't have one, then you're actually not in a gunfight. You're in something else much worse. The second part is you got to know how to use it. And the third is it's got to do what you brought the gun to do. So that's a very good package for that.
Yeah, one of the greatest shooters of all time, Lieutenant Colonel Wigger, he wrote an article for Rifleman back in 1978 that I just reviewed. Only hits count.
That's right. You know, all those shots you fire, I've done classes with people and they've said, just get rounds on target. Like, well, here's one of the truths in competition shooting. If I'm shooting for A zones, I almost always hit B's and C's. If I'm shooting for B's and C's, I almost always shoot D's. If I'm shooting for hits at all, I have misses. And they don't matter. I mean, Wigger was, you know, we miss him all the time, and he was a genius in so many levels and a gentleman in so many more. But the reality is he nails it right there. If you can't hit the target, it doesn't matter what it was. So shootability plays in really hard here.
Shootability and a willingness to practice.
That's it right there.
For more on guns from Springfield Armory, go to springfield-armory.com. And for more on concealable handguns, go to americanrifleman.org.